Hi everybody, what is up? I am Lady Stars and Fire, and my real name is Michelle Espinosa. This is the weekly healing messages for July 31st through August 7th. Now, I've had to remake this video today, which fits in with what this weekly video is all about, as well as this month. Because of my thumbs. Basically, my thumbs have gotten in the way and I made the video. It was a great video. I loved that video and I deleted that video. And at first I thought, well, apparently the powers that be is saying I did something wrong. And I got out here to make the video again and they're like, no, you're not blaming me. This is all you. When you're ready, come back and make it again. Plain and simple. And I tell you that because it goes so much with what this month is about to be coming in. What we're about to be learning. See, last month was July, which was the month of 7, which was all about divine magic, divine manifestation, divine guidance basically coming in. However, that divine guidance wasn't coming in exactly in the most always comfortable, warm, fuzzy feelings, because it was doing a flush out. It was prepping us for this month and for the work that's going to be taking place this month. A lot of that had to do with cleaning out stuff within your chakras, as well as your own ego and other situations within your life. Now, this month is a very important month, and things that are going to happen this month, you may not notice it right now. However, it's going to be things that will either help you move forward very swiftly in a positive way throughout your life, not just right now, your life, or you're going to find it, you made some decisions that pushed you back, basically, within your life. And this is going to have to do with the decisions you're making. I'm going to explain this a lot deeper, because what I'm getting from them is it has a lot to do with what's written in astrology, which will make sense. However, there's like hidden spots in astrology, which are most people are not seeing. And that's only because that's what Spirit is pointing out to me, that I'm seeing it. And then I'll give you all of this information so that I can help you work your way through this. Now, July was about divine magic. Again, we're moving now into August. This is eclipse season, which puts us automatically to the number of 5 and the changes that have to be taking place with that number 5. But this also puts us into the number 8, which is what August is. So it's the eclipse season, but it's not just the eclipse season. There's a major event going on that most people aren't going to realize. 8 speaks to us about personal power. It speaks to us about confidence, inner strength and wisdom, our professionalism, our material freedom, our abundance, ego, integrity, truth, wealth. But most of all, 8 reminds us typically of the symbol of infinity, the never ending, which then also reminds us 8 speaks to us of karma, honey. So karma this month, and it's going to be showing itself in very strange, odd ways. But let me come back to just this week. This week, I said earlier in some posts I put out on social media, the South Node and the North Node. Everything is about them, even though it's like in hiding and you don't really necessarily notice it. Everything is about them. And I'm going to explain that better because I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. Also, you're not going to see the runes on the video. I just have too much going on with this information, and I'll have to come back and do the runes either later or put them on social media. You can find them later on this week. They're not going to be on the video right now, so there is no rune cast at this moment. I was told when I came back out here this last time to make sure, for whatever reason, I was facing the sanctuary. I have no idea why. I just know that I'm being told to face the sanctuary, so those curtains are blowing. So I don't know if that's a message that's for you necessarily. I just know that that's what I was told to do. This week, Uranus goes retrograde. And I have been talking about this for a while. Uranus goes retrograde in Aries. Now, this is not no normal retrograde. Retrograde is when the planet kind of slows down and takes its turn and turns inwardly and starts evaluating things about what that planet is actually about for us within our life. And it kind of is evaluating things inwardly while it's in retrograde before it turns back out and starts projecting that energy outwardly. Now, Uranus speaks to us. Hold on one second. I'm making the video! Anyway, Uranus speaks to us of... Okay, sorry, I was talking to some people inside of my house. Uranus speaks to us of our individuality, our personal freedom, our independence. It speaks to us of our unique individuality and our inventive nature. And inwardly, it's going to be speaking to us of where we're not showing that, where we're not, living up to our potential in that area. Where it is we're not doing that right or good enough for who we truly are, basically. And that's what Uranus would be in retrograde normally. However, what most people are going to miss is every 7 years, Uranus moves through its signs. It is in the first house, Aries, which is where the beginnings start, which is where that new me first energy starts, with that alpha energy starts. It's the first house. It's the first original core, basically. And Uranus has been here for 7 years. Like I said, it stays every 7 years, and then it moves through each sign, 7 years through each sign. This is what most people are not going to get. This message is the last time it has a chance to sink it in through your head what it's been trying to teach you. Because when it moves into Taurus, into the second house, universally, it is not going to be back to teach these lessons again for another 78 to 84 years. Most of you are not going to be alive when it hits this time again. So this message it's trying to teach you right now from Aries, if you don't get this memo now, you're not gonna. Period. And that's going to make a major change as to the directions things are about to go for you, is what I'm trying to explain. Now, here's the kicker. It's eclipse season right now. We're entering eclipse season. And on the 7th, we have the full moon at the same time. Well, not the same time, but we have the full moon during the lunar eclipse. Full moon is taking place in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Okay, you get what I'm saying? So that's where your rebel is. Your rebel that is, I got the balls and I will go out and I will do it, and you can't tell me and I'm not going to make it. Nobody's going to make me live by your rules. I will live by my own rules. And Uranus is fueling that Aquarius energy with its freedom, individuality, independence, all of that energy that Uranus does, but now it's turned inwardly for self-evaluation. This is all about self-perspective of what truly, you're truly evaluating a self-perspective of rejuvenating your true, authentic self. And are you getting to the root of being able to rejuvenate that authentic self? Or are you stuck in ego? This is yin and yang. Okay? Black and white. Ego, soul. That's what this is coming down to. This month is really going to be hitting. And it's going to hit under the belt in some areas. I don't mean in a bad way. But I mean it's going to get to the root and really make you identify with where you are, and are you being honest with yourself? And if you're not, then especially if you haven't come into any of this knowledge by the time that lunar eclipse hits, man, I'm sorry. That's all I can say. Because this information, if you get it, if you start learning it before that lunar eclipse hits, and before it's between that lunar and that solar eclipse, it's going to help this ride through this energy so much better, so much easier for you. But if you're in denial, you're in self-centered bullshit, you're about to find out that it's going to continue to push you into that narcissistic side. Okay? Now, I'm being shown what looks like a diamond, but it's not a diamond. The way it's a moving, it's trying to adjust is what it is they're showing me a symbol that's in the process of adjusting itself into the proper position. And right now it looks more like a kite. Not a triangle. Not the diamond. It's not quite correct. It's in adjusting period is what I'm being showed. And basically this is not the flush out anymore, but this is the adjustment, the evaluating to prepare yourself for that proper perspective so that you could get in an actual diamond. A diamond speaks to us of so much different energy. A diamond speaks to us of our oneness, our wholeness, our four. It speaks to us of, the four elements, the four directions, our four realms, our emotional, our mental, our physical, and our spiritual. If any of them are out of whack, then you're out of whack. It's that simple. It speaks to us of also, like we were saying a couple weeks back, how we had the shadow animal of the frog. It's telling us, if you're smothering one or suffocating one into not being healthy within your emotional, your mental, your physical, and your spiritual, the others might get stronger, but that does not mean your wholeness is. That just means you're still falling further out of balance because you need that one that you're ignoring, that one that you're running from, that one that you're afraid of. The one that you're burying. You're unless you come out of the denial and you start working through the truths of it, you're actually moving farther away from what you truly want to be. And basically this is the redirecting of making that a diamond and not a kite is what I'm being told. It's what needs to be made correct and proper for it to thrive. And that's that, basically. I'm also being told, and I like the way this went, because this month is bittersweet. I mean, in order for you to move forward and to believe in yourself and go in that direction and to have the power to get your own personal power, to find your own personal integrity, the confidence that you need to manifest yourself into the direction you're trying to go, you have to have the bittersweet. It's the sweet and the sour. You cannot have one without the other, is what they are saying. And I am being given the song Freebird by Leonard Skinner. I don't see how it could hit more perfectly with the words. In order to move forward, you got to leave something behind. Doesn't mean that you didn't love the situation. Doesn't mean that you didn't love the people. Doesn't mean that you don't still care. But are you going to stay where something isn't working for you, or are you going to move forward? It's bittersweet. It is the song Free Bird. Now, for the animal medicine this week, I'm being given a hippo. And I posted this on social media earlier. I heard them say, because I don't always hear well, but every once in a while I get it right down pat. And what I heard is, well, are you being hungry, hippo? Like the child's game? Or are you learning from the hippo medicine? Okay? What I'm saying is in the child's game, hungry, hippo, it's just them chomping. Just them chomping and eating. Are you just running your mouth and chomping and going for it, or are you soulfully in it? This speaks to us of the yin and the yang, the ego. This speaks to us of that very fine line between soulfulness and narcissistic side, between soulful and ego, between self-centered. Basically, there's a very fine line. And I say it's a very fine line because it really truly is. Because, I mean, we had a dispute here at the house the other day about, where you got to be selfish sometimes. Everybody has a right to enjoy life. Everybody has a right to move forward. Everybody has a right to love life, to be a part of it, to to have life. And sometimes we need certain little pieces or aspects of our life to be able, the dogs next door are coming over, to be able to get us in the right direction. However, there's a difference when you're being selfish, for the wrong reasons. I mean, this is stupid, but it was important enough to one of the people here. I mean, having ice cream in the house was what makes her find her happy place. Just like sometimes people are like, you know, mommy's happy juices, I need to have my glass of wine at the end of the day. That does not mean that you're getting drunk. It just keeps me going, you know, the world's just, you know, really, it truly is just a little, yeah, it's magical. And it keeps you just enough to where you can be good to the rest of the world without moving you into a negative place. You have every right to want the positive in your life. You have every right to want to enjoy the things that make you happy, that do make you better. However, we have to know when we've stepped past that line of the correct selfishness and started to move into self-centeredness, narcissisticness, no longer being in service and I'm just about me. The hungry hempo. Basically, are you just chomping to chomp? Or are you doing the right enough for you so that you can at the same time give back to the world, to your friends, your family, so forth? Are you taking enough, just enough to make sure that, yeah, I got it. Okay, now we can go, and you can be the supportive part that you need to be. This is what this month is going to be about. This is going to be showing itself and asking you questions. This is the evaluation, that proper soulful perspective of finding where your true, authentic self needs to be rejuvenated and what needs to be let go of. Let me explain. The North Node, like I said, as I'm coming into astrology, the North Node speaks to us of what you must adopt in order to move forward in your life. Period. What you must adopt to move forward in your life. The things that you need in order to move into those goals properly and be able to move forward and have the life you truly are wishing to thrive and have. Or we have the South Node. The North Node was the positive one. The South Node is viewed as the negative one. The South Node speaks to us of what it is that's got to go. And I don't mean go just for now. What is not serving you, period, in this lifetime. Like I said, we're talking about Aquarius and Uranus's move out of Aries and into its second house already almost 8 months in advance. Right now, this month is what this is about. And this is about learning that lesson that Uranus is speaking to us of our independence, our individuality, about moving forward. And are we seeing the proper things to move us forward positively? Because not only is the lunar eclipse taking place the same day as the full moon in Aquarius, but the South Node is also in Aquarius right now when Uranus is going retrograde. That is the key here. The thing is, like I said, the South Node speaks to us of what does not serve us in this life and what has to go, what has to change. Because without it changing, the South Node is stopping the North Node from being able to move forward for us personally within our tiny little lives. Okay? Because there's so many of us and all of us are important, but each one of our lives are important to us and the decisions we make within our life. It's still going to happen with or without you taking part. And if you're taking part, this will be so much easier on you for the next 9 years as we work this 10-year cycle and we go through all of the signs, period, as we start to evolve, ascend. Okay? This is what I'm getting at. Now, I'm also being told that the Lotus is part of this week's healing messages. However, what I'm being shown is the lotus. Yes, the lotus brings us the ascension, the harmony, the love, the purity. And it's floating. And yes, we see this, but what is important right here is the lotus comes and grows and blooms out of nasty water, out of polluted water. And that is what Spirit is saying right now. Working through your polluted water. You're cleaning your polluted waters. Hippo speaks to us of being able to stand strong, grounded, and be able to be in both realms. The hippo can stand deep in the water for long periods of time with its nose and its eyes still out, being able to observe what's going on in Earth while it's in two worlds. This is what we're talking about. You might want to Google that information. I'm also being told that you might want to look back at the sea turtle, because I'm shown the sea turtle, I'm actually shown the sea turtle as medicine, but I mean, I'm being shown him put together as pieces of medicine. So you may want to look into them as you move forward. Now, as I go into astrology itself this week, it's all about the moon. Midweek. The moon is going to be dropping helpful hints. However, we are going to be sensitive. We're going to be very sensitive about this. Sensitivity is what's going to be able to make you start to move up, to ascend, to evolve into that better person that really, truly lives inside of you. Get closer to soul. Get closer to your authentic self. But you're not going to get there without that sensitivity. However, sensitivity can also be touchy-feely, and I don't like this, and I don't want to talk about it. So, you're going to have a little bit of both. Because this week, the way that the moon is moving is hitting it perfectly right up until that that full moon comes in Aquarius on the 7th. But midweek, starting like Tuesday out, is what I'm getting. Tuesday out, the moon is moving from Virgo. So we're getting it pretty much in the cusp, is what I'm being given. In the cusp of Virgo and Sagittarius, water and fire. It's two opposite ends. Okay? Opposite ends of the spectrum, more or less, of our own worlds. And then they move through Sagittarius, the moon does, and then slowly into Capricorn, which is where the authority is. Where, the foundation gets created, where the answers are found, to make that foundation. Where, like I said, that's the boss. It's often seen as the boss, plain and simple. My friend is a Capricorn, and we pick on her all the time. We call her the Rolodex. I'm like, if you need something to never be remembered, just tell her it. And when it comes up out of that dumb stuff out of nowhere, she'll be like a Rolodex, and she'll have that information for you. Out of nowhere. I don't know how Capricorns do it. They just do. It's like they know about everything. And that's just what they are. And this is one of those times where you're going to get that information coming from the moon, which is going to make you question. Not Capricorn, but make you question and evaluate your own soulfulness versus your ego, your yin and your yang, your narcissistic side that is coming out, your self-centered side. Where is it? That is, where have you jumped the gun and gone too damn far, basically. Now, you've got the moon is going to be speaking to Virgo this week, during this time, and Vista, which is your fire. The moon is speaking to Vista, your actual inner fire, the fire of your hearth and home. But remember, your hearth and home isn't just your family, it's also your inside. It is you. You are the home. And it's speaking to Virgo, which is the finger pointer. It's the organizer. It's the duty one. It's the one of duty. It's the one of anal retentive correcting, basically. I mean, and it's teaching you where is your fire lacking and where is its strength? Where is it lacking? And why? Why is basically what this moon is going to be talking to it about. Then it's going to be talking to the nodes themselves. Both sides. Leo and Aquarius. See, because Leo right now is the North Node, is the positive one. Leo is speaking to the moon about your creative energy, your enjoyment of life energy, your passion and your power of life energy. Can you come up with it? Can you bring it out? Are you courageous enough to be exactly who and what you are? But at the same time, it's speaking to us of service, of Leo the lion, the jungle, the lion of the jungle. He's responsible for his pride at the same time. So this isn't just about fire and passion and courage and enjoyment. This is also about doing what's right and being in service at the same time. At the same time, the moon is going to be speaking to Aquarius and pointing out and shuffling through, like I said, that selfless side, that ego side, that selfish side, and where have you gone too far and where is just right? It's not going to be comfortable necessarily because they've got some shit to dig down there and teach us. Then it's speaking to Pisces and Chiron. I mean, really? Pisces and Chiron. Chiron holds the keys to your healing. End of discussion. He's the wounded healer. You're not going to heal without getting past Chiron. But he's still talking to Neptune, and they're both in retrograde, which means they're talking directly to you about what your magic is, and are you capable of making it tangible and bringing it to life? Well, if you want to, you're going to have to learn this lesson. Okay? And if you're not, and you're full of ego, and you're on the wrong side of Neptune, as I've been saying many times, then you're creating from your ill water. You're creating from underneath the lotus flower. Are you creating from underneath your lotus flower? Are you still in denial about things that you know just ain't right for you, but you don't want to change? These are those things that are going to be coming up. Now, and like I said, it's not meant to hurt you. It's meant to help you. But you've got to be willing to do your own work. Nothing is given to us easily. Nothing worth having. Nothing worth cherishing is ever just handed to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't cherish anything. Okay. Now, our challenges this week is water, is the element of water, which is Ceres, and Venus is in Cancer. And this is going to be a growing experience with major changes, is what they're saying. Because Ceres speaks to us of our mothering, our parenting, our karma itself, as well as too close to home. That is the fourth house, the universal fourth house. That's home, basically, as well as your inner home. It has to do with who you were and why you are the way you are, and returning to your roots about it, basically. It speaks to us of our Venus. Our Venus speaks to us of our senses. Venus is not only about love. I don't know how many times I can say that. Venus speaks to us about helping us know when we're in love, because we're all goofy and happy and have the butterflies inside, and we enjoy it. And we enjoy wanting to be around that person more. But Venus also speaks to us of little things, like the stuff you want, your candles, your curtains, certain clothing. For guys, maybe it's your big trucks and your boy toys. I mean, your big, expensive boy toy stuff. I mean, it speaks to us of what we want and why we want it, because it makes us feel good, and how it is we got to go about getting it. Venus explains to us how it is we go about getting it. But Venus also speaks to us of pain. And why is it painful? I say all the time, if you stick your hands without an oven mitt on, and an oven that's 365 degrees to get some cookies that have been cooking for 20-some minutes, that shit hurts. That's why we wear oven mitts. That's Venus. Venus is talking to Ceres. Our karma, our mother nature are too close to home. And mothering, parenting. Where are you being nourished right? Where are you not? Why have you not? It speaks to us of, in a negative way, it starts speaking to us of child custody, child support, self-worth, lack of self-worth, self-value, lack of self-value, self-esteem, lack of self-esteem, depending on the situation. This was the parenting, the mothering, doing its job right? Were you abandoned? Okay? You've got your sensitivities speaking to karma a little too close to home as far as that whole parenting, mothering thing. And what is that karma that's coming out of that? Are you learning from it? Did you change from it? Did you experience it? What is coming out of that? And that is your 4th house. That is speaking to Chiron. Again, the wounded healer who holds the keys in a very emotional water spot. You've got both of them. Cancer and Pisces, which is Chiron. Both are water elements. Speaking to Lilith and Sagittarius, as well as Saturn, our rules and our boundaries. Lilith is all about you don't own me, and you can't make me do a damn thing. But that power can be strong when you're using it in the right way. When you're using it in the independence way for the right reasons, not the narcissistic, self-centered reasons. And boundaries and rules are all about, are we taking the chance? Are we trying them? Are we ballsy for the right reasons? Or am I just being an ass? Basically. These are challenges this week. Jupiter and Pluto are talking. Jupiter is speaking of our relationships, point blank. Our relationships with anything in our life that we have a relationship with. It's speaking to us of the higher knowledge and the learning and the abundance that comes from these two, Jupiter and Libra, being that conversation about those relationships. And Jupiter's abundance, higher knowledge, and learning is speaking directly to Pluto. Pluto is in Capricorn, which is all about the foundation. And are we destroying it, changing it, or renewing and correcting it and rebirthing in it? So this is bringing up really some deep information, because the 10th house is our community. Okay? Now, you've also got Vesta and Mercury, which are in Leo, which is your 6th house universally. And it is speaking to Neptune, which is our magic, for the right reasons or the not. Are you creating your magic from the dirty water or from what has bloomed like the lotus? End of discussion. And it is speaking again to Lilith and Sagittarius. Now let me help you understand this. Lilith and Sagittarius and Saturn and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is what I like to call the Tomb Raider, or Indiana Jones. They're the adventurer. They're the ones who are willing to go out and take the chance and let me try and explore and find out. Okay? And we're talking about boundaries and rules, as well as you can't make me do anything I don't want to do. Okay? You're taking that energy, but you're putting it, we're dealing with the universal 9th house, which speaks to us, more or less, might as well be Jupiter. I mean, because it speaks to us of our higher learning, of our spirituality and our philosophy. So this may also mean there's people you're letting go of in your life right now. Bittersweet, free bird. It's taking us right back to that. This is our soul fire, our communication of bringing that soul fire forward with the courage, the passion, and the fire to do it for ourselves as well as our life. Then it is speaking to Neptune of, are you capable of making it happen, or are you stuck in the rut of what you know you can't change, and you seem to think you're stuck there and you believe in it? And are you taking the chances? Are you finding the balls to do what's right? And are you doing it the right way? Is what this is about. Then we move into the nodes themselves. Both the north and the south node are speaking, like I said, to the moon in the midweek. Emotions. So that is bringing it all forward. For your positive energy, though, there's so much positive energy here. However, you just got to realize that a lot of this is challenges being set forth for the transformation of finding and rejuvenating the true authentic self, which is you, for the next 9 years and so on. Because, like I said, Uranus isn't going to be back again. Now, before I go into the positives real fast, I always say the sextiles. Sextiles are a harmonious thing. However, when there's too many sextiles, We go from being harmonious to a little bit too lazy, and we miss the chance we could have. Uranus ain't going to go through this again. It's only hitting during this eclipse at this time, at this one time, you know, and then it's going to not be back for these messages again for 78 to 84 years. This is the only chance you're going to get over this next 6 months to make these changes. Okay, positive. I mean, so your sextiles are telling you, take the harmonious, learn how to work with them, and do not be lazy and not work on them, because you're not going to learn this again. End of discussion. Now, positives. You have fire energy, which is Leo, in your 5th house, which is creativity, as well as service, as well as passion, and, you know, even your romantic side comes out. Your artistic side comes out in this. Is where your Mars and your Sun is. That's your core energy, as well as your aggressive passion and fire and defender, all coming up to speak in a positive way with that 9th house, which is, again, your higher learning, your spirituality, your philosophy of what Lilith and Saturn have to teach you. Like I said, in a strange way, it's all about helping us see how to be strong in our power. How to be, have integrity, how to stand in our power, how to find our truth, but without creating bad karma, without having to be a narcissistic bitch, without having to be a self-centered pain in the ass who don't care about anybody else. Being able to do what's right for you, but know when you're crossing that line so you can stop. That's what this is all about right now. And then again, you have the node is speaking, both nodes, the Leo and the Aquarius, are both, again, all week, they are speaking to that 9th house with Sagittarius and Lilith, and both nodes, Leo and Aquarius, are both speaking to Uranus, which is going retrograde. This is your time to truly dig in and pull that authentic self out. Or at least start finding where it's still smothering in the dirty water. Where it's still drowning in the dirty water underneath the lotus flower. Because, baby, you are a lotus flower. You just got to be able to bloom out of the funky muck. I love you. Hugs and kisses, and I will see you next week. If you have any questions for me, you can always visit my website, which is ladystarsandfire.com, where you can find me for readings, for astrology, as well as you can check out my own special items that I have made, my mystical items and so forth. I wish you a wonderful week and a great August. Bye!